completely destroy Harrison's life. I shared them selectively with people who needed to know the truth. I'm not looking to humiliate him publicly. Beyond that, tomorrow, I meet with a therapist, thanks to those who suggested this in the comments last update. So basically the last time I updated, I had just executed what many of you call nuclear revenge on Harrison, recording him and Dina via the doorbell camera, catching their intimate moments, sending the evidence to his parents and his boss, and basically exposing his double life to everyone who mattered. ID moved out, blocked him everywhere, and was hiding out at Sally's apartment processing the aftermath of my own actions. A lot of you wanted to know if I ever confronted him face to face after all that, and the answer is yes, but not how or when I expected to. About a week after I sent those recordings, I was having coffee at this little cafe across town, specifically chosen because Harrison would never go there to hipster for him lol. I was journaling something my therapist suggested when I heard someone say my name. I looked up and there he was, Harrison, looking like absolute hell, unshaven, dark circles, wrinkled clothes. He'd clearly lost weight, and his eyes had this haunted look I'd never seen before for a split second. I felt this surge of satisfaction seeing him so wrecked, then it was replaced by pure anxiety because I was not ready for this confrontation. He asked if he could sit down. My first instinct was to say no and leave, but something in me needed closure, so I nodded. What followed was the most honest conversation we'd had in months, maybe ever. I just listened as he tried to explain himself. The affair with Dina had started as flirting at work, then drinks after late meetings, and eventually, well, he claimed he never meant for it to happen. Classic, that he had been stressed about the house purchase, oh please, that he still loved me, but had gotten caught up in the excitement gang me. But then he addressed what I'd done, sending the recordings to his parents and boss. To my surprise, he didn't seem angry about it anymore. He said after the initial shock and humiliation, he realized it was exactly what he deserved. His parents had apparently given him the disappointment talk of a lifetime. They'd made him pay back their portion of the house deposit and told him he needed to grow up and face consequences of work. He'd been put on probation and removed from Dina's department. Larry, the coworker who should have gotten Harrison's promotion, was now being considered for advancement instead. When he finished talking, I asked just one question: if I hadn't found out, and if I hadn't exposed everything, how long would you have continued lying to my face every day? He couldn't answer, and that told me everything. I told him calmly that while I appreciated his honesty now, it was too late, that he hadn't just cheated, he had stolen my time, my trust, and my sense of reality. That while he was figuring things out, I was planning our future, believing in promises that were already broken. When I told him I forgave him, not for his sake but for mine, because carrying anger would only hurt me in the long run. His face when I said that, it was like he'd been preparing for more rage and had no defense against compassion. I left him sitting there at the cafe, and it felt like closing the final chapter of a book.